Before you buy another bottle of water, flip it around and read the label. One brand recently slapped "now without salt" on the front of every bottle, which means they had been selling you salt water this entire time. Another pumped 3.6 million liters a day from indigenous land, while the families living there could not drink from their own taps. Today, we are ranking the 5 worst Canadian bottled water brands you need to stop buying, and 5 that actually deserve your money. Number 5. Aquafina. That clean blue label with the mountain graphics screams fresh and pure. But every single drop of Aquafina starts as plain municipal tap water. PepsiCo admitted it back in 2007 when consumer pressure forced them to print "public water source" on every bottle. In Canada, the 1.5-liter bottle reads "demineralized treated water" right on the packaging. They are telling you what it is. Most people just never bother to look. Now here's what demineralized actually means for your body. Aquafina uses a process called Hydro 7, which forces water through reverse osmosis and strips out everything. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, all gone. Independent testing measured Aquafina at a TDS of just 4 parts per million and a pH around 6.0, which falls below Health Canada's recommended range of 7.0 to 10.5. Natural spring water typically runs between 100 and 300 parts per million. What you are buying is flat, mineral-dead, slightly acidic water at $2 a bottle. When CBC Marketplace sent Canadian bottled water to McGill University for testing, researchers found microplastics in Aquafina, including polypropylene, nylon, and PET fragments. A 2024 Columbia University study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found roughly 240,000 plastic particles per liter, with 90% being nanoplastics, tiny enough to pass through your intestines into your bloodstream and lodge in your heart and brain. You are paying 2,000 times more than tap water for worse water. If you think store brands fix this problem, the next entry proves otherwise. Number 4. PC Natural Spring Water. President's Choice Natural Spring Water sits in every no-frills, superstore, and Loblaws across the country. Under $1, familiar label, and the words "Natural Spring Water" printed front and center. Cheap and clean sounding. But the bottle itself tells a completely different story. PC uses standard PET plastic, and that is where the contamination lives. The 2018 Orb Media and State University of New York study tested 259 bottles across 11 brands and 9 countries. Microplastics turned up in 93% of them, averaging 10.4 particles per liter at 100 microns or bigger. Store brands in PET perform exactly the same as name brands because the contamination comes from the plastic itself, especially the caps. Every time you twist one open, tiny fragments break off into the water. And the regulation gap makes things worse. In Canada, bottled water falls under the Food and Drugs Act, but outside of arsenic, lead, and coliform, the Act sets no specific limits on other contaminants. Municipal tap water gets tested multiple times per day by your city. Bottled water plants get inspected once a year by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. You are paying a premium for less oversight, not more. At least the PC comes from a real spring. The next brand on this list cannot even claim that, and what they put inside will make your stomach turn. Number 3. Dasani. Dasani is owned by Coca-Cola, bottled in Brampton, Ontario and Calgary, Alberta, from local municipal tap water. Coca-Cola runs it through reverse osmosis, strips out all the natural minerals, and then adds back 3 ingredients for taste. Those ingredients are magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, and salt. A TikTok video showing Dasani's new label reading "Now Without Salt" went viral with over 1.2 million views, and the creator's reaction said it all. So they have been giving us salt water this whole time? Magnesium sulfate is Epsom salt, commonly used as a laxative. Potassium chloride shows up in fertilizers. And salt, plain sodium chloride, is the additive that thousands of consumers online say leaves them thirstier after drinking, which is a convenient problem when the company selling the water also sells Coca-Cola. Independent pH testing measured Dasani between 4.71 and 5.6, roughly as acidic as black coffee. Health Canada recommends finished drinking water between 7.0 and 10.5. Dasani does not come close. Dental researchers have linked regular consumption of acidic beverages to enamel erosion over time. In 2004, UK authorities found bromate, a suspected carcinogen, above legal limits. Coca-Cola recalled 500,000 bottles, lost over $32 million, and pulled the brand from the entire UK market permanently. You are paying $2.50 for chemically rebuilt tap water more acidic than what flows from your faucet for free. But the next brand makes Dasani look honest. Number 2. Nestle Pure Life. Now, Blue Triton. Nestle Pure Life spent years as Canada's best-selling bottled water. The word pure sat right on the label. But behind that branding, Nestle was pumping up to 3.6 million liters of groundwater per day from its Aberfoyle plant in Puslinch, Ontario. The company paid the province just $503.71 per million liters. Meanwhile, only 17% of residents in the nearby Six Nations of the Grand River First Nation had access to safe drinking water. 2/3 of the community relied on packaged water, some of it Nestle's own brand, sold back to them from the very aquifer beneath their land. Over 36,000 Canadians joined the Council of Canadians boycott campaign, and community resistance eventually drove Nestle out of Canada in 2021. The brand was sold to Blue Triton, which kept pumping, extracting 638 million liters in 2023 alone, before shutting down the Ontario operation in late 2024. A State University of New York study found Nestle Pure Life contained up to 10,000 microplastic particles per liter, the highest concentration of any brand in their entire global study. And in 2025, French investigators uncovered microplastic contamination in Nestle-owned brands at levels up to 1.3 million times higher than surface water. You were paying premium prices for the word pure on a bottle that tested the dirtiest in the lab. And the number one worst brand? It is about selling you the most expensive lie in the entire Canadian water aisle. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single Canadian product breakdown. Number 1. Flow Alkaline Spring Water. Flow is the Instagram darling of Canadian water. Sleek carton packaging, pH of 8.1 printed on the front, and marketing language promising optimal hydration, body balance, and fitness recovery. 1 liter runs $2.50 to $3.50. In some provinces, that is more expensive than gasoline. And Flow has partnered with the Montreal Canadiens and Live Nation Canada, putting their brand in front of millions of concert and hockey fans who assume premium branding means premium water. And every single health claim crumbles under basic science. Your body maintains blood pH between 7.35 and 7.45 through its own buffering system, regardless of what you drink. The second alkaline water hits your stomach acid at pH 1, it gets neutralized on contact. Dr. Andrew Weil, a Harvard Medical School graduate, called alkaline water health claims bogus. A 2016 review in the British medical journal Open found a lack of evidence for or against alkaline water, and concluded that promoting it to the public is not justified. Dr. Bob Arnault put it even more bluntly. Your body adjusts to its optimal pH balance no matter what you swallow. Healthline warns that drinking alkaline water regularly, above pH 9.8, carries a greater chance of developing hyperkalemia and may interfere with nutrient absorption. Flow markets its packaging as 100% recyclable. Only about 9% of plastics worldwide ever get recycled. You are spending 3,000 times more than tap water for spring water wrapped in health claims that no major medical body supports. That makes Flow the most expensive marketing trick on Canadian shelves. Now, the brands that actually earned your trust. Better pick number 5. Esca Natural Spring Water, glass bottles. Esca comes from the Saint-Mathieu-Lac-Berry esker in Abitibi-Témiscamingue, Quebec, a geological formation carved by the last ice age. The water filters naturally through layers of sand and gravel, and ESCA bottles it at the source, with no additives and no reverse osmosis. When CBC Marketplace tested glass bottles of ESCA at McGill University, they showed far fewer microplastic particles than the plastic versions. ESCA also switched their plastic line to 100% recycled PET starting in 2019. The mineral profile comes straight from the earth. The pH sits naturally in the neutral range, and what the label says is what you actually get. Better pick number 4, Naya Natural Spring Water. Naya pulls from natural springs in Quebec's Laurentian Mountains. The company has operated in Canada for decades with no additives and no chemical treatments beyond standard microfiltration. TDS sits between 120 and 160 parts per million, so you are drinking mineral-rich water that has not been gutted and chemically rebuilt like Dasani or Aquafina. The pH lands naturally in the neutral range without any artificial adjustment. When CBC Marketplace tested Naya alongside other brands, the company pointed to its microfiltration and bottle rinsing protocols as quality safeguards. The ingredient list is one word: water. Real spring water, fair price, nothing hidden. Better pick number 3, filtered Canadian tap water. Not a brand, just the smartest option on this list. Municipal tap water in Canada gets tested multiple times per day under provincial Safe Drinking Water Acts. Bottled water gets inspected once a year. A carbon filter removes chlorine and improves taste. A reverse osmosis system strips out microplastics, heavy metals, and bacteria. 1 year of filtered tap water costs under $50 with replacement filters. 1 year of bottled water at a bottle per day runs $730 to over $1,000. And in 25% of cases, the bottled water sold in Canada is just filtered municipal water, repackaged, and sold back to you at a massive markup. Better pick number 2, Montclair Natural Spring Water. Montclair is sourced from natural springs in Quebec and distributed across eastern Canada. No additives, no reverse osmosis, no remineralization tricks. Neutral pH, clean mineral content, and a smaller environmental footprint than any industrial brand on the bad list. Without the massive extraction controversies that defined Nestle for over a decade, Montclair keeps things simple and transparent. The water goes through standard filtration at the source, and nothing else gets added before bottling. The ingredient list is water, period. For consumers who want genuine spring water without paying the flow marketing tax, Montclair delivers quietly, honestly, and affordably. Better pick number 1, home reverse osmosis system with a reusable bottle. Stop buying water in plastic. A home RO system removes up to 99% of contaminants, including microplastics, heavy metals, bacteria, and chemical residues. Most systems add back calcium and magnesium through a remineralization stage for both taste and health. Upfront cost runs $200 to $500. Filter replacements cost $50 to $80 per year. Bottled water runs $730 to over $1,000 annually. The system pays for itself before the first year ends. About 90% of what you pay for bottled water goes toward packaging and branding, not water quality. Fill a stainless steel bottle and you solve the health, cost, and plastic problem all in one move. If any of these brands are sitting in your fridge right now, type the name below and tell me how many bottles you go through in a week. Those numbers stack up faster than anyone expects. Hit the next video on your screen because the next Canadian grocery store scam is hiding right on the shelf, and you will want to catch it before your next shopping trip. Subscribe so you always get the latest, honest product reviews.